Then he called him Maeglin, which is sharp glance, for he perceived that the eyes of his son were more piercing than his own, and his thought could read the secrets of hearts beyond the mist of words.
Yo, yo, yo. What up, guys? I'm Danny J.
And I'm Joel N.
And this is Trevor D.
And together, who are we?
Keep on Tolkien.
Yeah.
That's right. Welcome back.
Welcome back or welcome to. Anyway, we're glad you're here. Thanks for coming.
It's episode 78, and let's start with a couple of announcements. We got our merch available at our merch store, keep-on-tolkien-podcast.tmail.com. All of it is made by us and our friends, so go check it out and support the podcast.
Yeah, Trevor here actually made my favorite t-shirt, the Shafted t-shirt, which I'm going to make the hottest summer item.
The hottest summer item?
Yeah, the Shafted t-shirt. Get the Shafted t-shirt, guys. Get it.
I feel like we even missed a few characters that got shafted, right?
Yeah, maybe we'll do a whole series of Shafted shirts. If the first one...
Shafted 2?
Yeah, the
We'll
first
have to make
one...
some white ones.
Yeah, hell yeah. Anyway, check that out. We gave them the link, right?
Yep.
Cool. Check it out, guys.
That's one more time. That's keep-on-tolkien-podcast.tmail.com.
Nailed it.
All right, y'all. So today, episode 78 is our first part of a new trilogy that we're doing.
Yeah, you know how we're famous for our trilogies.
Our famous trilogies, so we like to do them at least once a run.
Yeah.
Trilogy is
times a season.
it's a perfect length.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
perfect.
Classic, right?
And this trilogy we have entitled Assholes Through the Ages. Bum, bum. Gonna take you back in time.
Yeah, so this is obviously the biggest assholes from age 1, 2, and 3, right, of Middle-earth.
That's right. And so this first episode, we're starting on the first stage.
And who would you say, Trevor, is the biggest asshole of the first age?
I suppose it would have to be Maeglin?
Well, I'm glad you said that because we wrote this whole outline about Maeglin. So if you had said someone else, then we would have had to done something else.
Oh,
Yeah, shit, we got 14 pages of content that, we wouldn't have been able to use.
God damn.
That's really weird.
damn, that's convenient.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
I'm glad you thought that. So
Sick. We're on the same wavelength here.
clearly you know who Maeglin is.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
for others out there, let's just touch briefly on who is Maeglin.
Yeah. Who is Maeglin?
Maeglin was the son of Eöl the Dark Elf and Eredel, sister of Turgon.
Yeah, Eredel the White.
Eredel the White. Yeah, Maeglin was born in the dark forest of Nan Elmoth in Beleriand, but he eventually became mighty and well known in the city of Gondolin.
Yeah. And he lived in Nan Elmoth as King Thingol's tenant, right?
More or less.
Yeah, he's his landlord essentially, right? Thingol?
Yes.
Yeah.
More or less, yeah. I think Doriath still has rulership over Nan Elmoth.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I was referring to a joke we've made in the past
Oh fuck, what?
about him being his landlord. Remember, he's like, I want a new sword on the first of every month.
That's right.
Yeah.
I see we have a list of names and titles for Maeglin.
Yeah,
right?
dude.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Well, we just got Maeglin, which is Sindrin for sharp glance.
That's right. We've also got Ion or Eon. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's I-O-N with an accent over the I. It's Sindarin for sun. There's also Lomian, which is child of twilight in Quenya.
I like that one. That's cool.
And of course, we have the Counselor of Gondolin and Son of Eöl.
Son of Eöl.
Let's get into some origins. So most people's origins are with their mother, so let's start there.
Yeah, in order to really understand the gravity of Maeglin and the things he does
You
in
need to
his
start
life.
with his family.
Yeah, we need to
Yeah.
go back a little bit and talk a little bit about his parents first.
Let's hit the roots, right?
Yeah.
So many stories revolve around Maeglin. It's crazy.
It is honestly crazy. There are a lot of stories that he
Mhm.
just kind of touches on.
I'm gonna guess
his assholery spreads like a spider web throughout the first stage. The end of the first stage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly what I was gonna ask. Is that kind of sounds like he just had a lot of like his roots are in everything.
Yeah, he sucks. We'll
So-
get into it though, guys.
Yeah, so let's...
One of the things, let's just talk about the reason why we wanted to do this Assholes trilogy is because we had so much fun covering the characters, the Witch King and
Grima Wormtongue.
and Grima, because they suck, right?
yeah.
So we wanted to do more character profiles about people that suck. So thus is how we came up with the idea.
Let's do a trilogy of assholes. And
Yeah.
make it fun.
And that's where this idea came from.
Those are a couple of my favorite episodes. I mean, it's not because I was on them, but
Oh yeah,
I really like those ones.
Well, so for today's episode, Maeglin, in order to understand his assholery, we've got to go back a ways and talk about his parents.
Yeah.
So first, let's start with his mother, Aradel the White.
Aradel the White.
So Aradel is the third child and the only daughter of Fingolfin, High King of the Noldor, and she was born in Valinor during the Years of the Trees, a wonderful, blissful time.
The best time.
The best time.
She is quite old then.
Very old, like many of the elves.
Fun fact, Aradel the White was born the same year as her cousin, Galadriel. Brr, brr, brr. And that was YT, Year of the Trees, 1362.
Hell yeah.
Erethel's brother, Maeglin's uncle, is Turgon, who would go on to be the High King of the Noldor and King of Gondolin.
Yeah, dude. Turgon, his brother's Fingon. So Fingon's his older brother. And then Fingon gets his head split in half.
Oh, nice.
Then
Gets
this
his,
cat becomes king, High King.
His helm cloven.
Cloven by the axe of Gothmog. But that is not in this tale.
That is not this tale. So, back in Valinor, before coming back to Middle-earth, Aradel would frequently roam the open lands with the Valar, and she loved to hunt far and wide with the sons of Feanor, at least before the darkening of Valinor when things kind of went south. But Aradel ultimately followed her father and brothers across the Helcarax to Middle-earth during that crossing in the year 1500, Years of the Trees.
Can I just say, how crazy would it be to roam a field with the Valar?
Yeah, dude. Just hanging out with your gods. Yeah, it's wild to think about.
Like, how do you...
It's what happens in universes where the gods are real. You can, like, see and talk to them and stuff.
And you just treat them like regular existing
Like
things,
homies,
right?
Yeah. That's just my god homie, you know?
I'm just like, you're like,
Oh
you
my
never...
God, homie.
you don't see it happen like anywhere else, but you see creatures that have interacted with gods that are,
Yeah.
you know...
Well, it's like how when people say, like, Jesus is my homie. It's like, you don't even know Jesus. But,
I've never
like,
met
you know, you could be
Jesus.
like, Orume is my hunting buddy, you know? And he is.
That's true.
Yeah, truth there.
So after crossing to Middle-earth, Maeglin's mother Aradel lived in Neverast with her brother Turgon. That is, until the hidden city of Gondolin was completed.
Yeah, when Gondolin was completed in first stage 116, Aradel followed her brother Turgon to live in the hidden city. Neverest seems like it was a cool place, though.
Yeah, I don't know why everyone...
I don't know why they didn't leave a
abandoned.
contingency of Gondolin
Right.
of Neverastians behind.
Neverast seems like it was a pretty
Neverast.
cool place.
Yeah, they just abandoned that shit.
Castle right on the sea, pretty
Yeah.
cool shit. But let's talk a little bit about Gondolin here now.
Mm-hmm.
Because Gondolin also has a lot to do with Maeglin's life.
Yes, it does.
So Gondolin was, for those who don't know, a great city of the elves located in the north-central area of Beleriand during the first stage of Middle-earth. It was probably like one of the most well-known kingdoms.
Oh yeah, because it's the coolest. Yo.
In the city, it's significant because it was created in secret in the hidden valley of Tumladen in the encircling mountains.
Yeah, those encircling mountains up there.
Yeah, the whole point, its purpose was to basically just be a hidden stronghold that could not be found. They were basically trying to hide out against the Dark Lord Melkor.
Yeah, dude, they don't want him to know.
Mm-mm.
And it was founded by Turgon in First Age 116, and it endured the longest of all the Noldorin kingdoms of the First Age. Nearly 4 centuries.
Yeah, and it was...
Wow.
It was like legend, Gondolin, because
that's
everyone
longer-
kind of knew about it, but nobody knew where it was.
Yeah, it's longer than Doria.
Yeah.
Or not Doria. Sorry, not Doria. What the other
No,
Noldor city?
Doriath was around before
Nargothrond.
everything else.
Yeah.
Not a single one of those kingdoms lasted out of the first age.
No,
Nope.
no.
Because the first stage at the end is it's all underwater. Remember?
That whole countryside gets destroyed and sunk.
That's,
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's right.
No kingdoms left. Only Gil-galad down in Lindon.
Gil-galad.
We've got a quick excerpt here about Gondolin from the Silmarillion, chapter 15 of the Noldor in Beleriand.
Behind the circle of the mountains, the people of Turgon grew and throve, and they put forth their skill and labor unceasing, so that the Gondolin upon Amun Gwareth became fair indeed, and fit to compare even with the elven Tyrion beyond the sea. High and white were its walls, and smooth its stairs, and tall and strong was the tower of the king. Their shining fountains played, and in the courts of Turgon stood images of the trees of old, which Turgon himself had wrought with elven craft. And the tree which he made of gold was named Glingal, and the tree whose flower he made of silver was named Belthil.
Glingal and Belthil.
Yeah, why not, dude?
Now, the city was supposed to be beautiful, comparable to the
Tyrion.
which is like heaven.
Pretty
for
cool place.
elves. Yeah. So
There was like diamond dust in the street, remember?
yeah, diamonds were like playthings
Yeah.
for children there. It was
Yeah, dude.
crazy. The city glittered. Yeah, so this is supposed to be comparable.
Diamonds in the city streets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because like I think the pavement was like made of diamonds, I think. So there was like diamond dust all over the place. So it would get in your like your clothes and you would like glisten.
Yeah, when
Was it magical?
Tyrion was kind of
It was just diamonds,
it was
dude.
just
It was just diamonds.
I don't know, it was just diamonds everywhere.
It was just fucking diamonds.
I think it was just
man.
supposed to be beautiful, is what it was.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, straight up diamonds.
It'd just be crazy if it was like all like magic infused.
It'd be trillions
Diamonds.
and trillions of dollars worth of diamonds.
Well, in this economy.
Yeah, in this economy. Yeah.
So after the completion of Gondolin, Turgon took with him to live in the hidden city all of his people from Neverrast. They pretty much just drained Neverrast, and they all secretly crept away to this new hidden city in the mountains. That's almost a third of all of the Noldor just disappeared one day, and as well as nearly 3/4 of the Sindar in the north.
Yeah, I always forget that the Gondolindrum, even though the culture is Noldor, the dominant culture is Noldor, that there's a shitload of Sindar that originally go there too.
It's a mix. It's a good
Yeah.
mix of people.
I really like that word too. Neverrast.
Neverrast.
Yeah, Neverrast.
Neverrast.
It seems like a cool kingdom. I would probably want to live there.
Yeah.
Well, what is it? What kind of place is it?
It's on the
sea.
coast, yeah. It's
Oh,
right
it's a
on
coastal
the sea.
city.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's the name
Yeah,
is just
it's
cool
like
sounding.
if you're coming from Amman, right? It's like the first city you'd hit coming into Beleriand, right?
I think so. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like one of the furthest western points on the western shore of Middle Earth, Beleriand.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, sick.
So Gondolin now is full of people, and due to this population size and the need for the city to remain hidden, Turgon decreed that anyone that lived in Gondolin, or anyone that even knew where it was, could never leave the city.
Never.
You just couldn't risk word getting out. So there was a basically no coming and going policy. If
Yep.
you ever found it or you're there for the rest of your life.
How do they deal with the population problems?
Elves don't reproduce very quickly.
They just wouldn't. That
And
wouldn't
they
be a problem?
typically only have one or two children. I mean, there's a like what would you say, Joel? The average is like what, 3 children per elf family?
I think
And
that's
that's
the
Over
most.
the
I
most
think
is
that
7.
The most
Feanor.
is 7 Feanor, but that's
Yeah.
odd.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think 3 is the only number I can think of. Yeah, it doesn't seem
Yeah.
to be too many.
No, they don't have too many children, even though they live for a very long time.
Elrond has 3 kids.
Yeah, and
as
they're
well.
spread out over centuries too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And there's no men at this
No,
point?
no human men. No.
No,
Okay.
no, Gondolin's all elves.
I mean, they exist in the world, but they're not
But
allowed.
they come not into this tale. Save
Not in-
one.
Save one.
They've 3 actually.
Oh,
Oh yeah, we talk about them too. Oh, I'm excited. Let's talk about this.
yeah. Let's go.
Yeah. So Eredel, sister of Turgon, she lived in Gondolin with his no come and go policy, and while she loved Gondolin, it was a beautiful city, and she loved her brother, King Turgon. After 200 years of not being able to come and go, she began longing for forests and wide open lands. Because remember back when she lived in Valinor, that's what she did. She loved to be out roaming the lands and hunting and doing all sorts of stuff. So being cooped up for 200 years was just too much for her.
She's a country girl, not a city girl.
Not at all. So
that's just like as far as the longing for forests goes. That eventually that overcomes like most elves or all elves.
that's the sea longing.
Oh, that's the sea longing I'm thinking of.
Yes.
Totally.
So one and then the other.
Elves typically like nature though, of all.
It's true.
Yeah, yeah.
Except for
yeah.
the Noldor are more into like gems and shit like that.
And
but,
mining and
yeah.
crafts and stuff.
They love the earth as well in a different way.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
suppose like most elf stuff is depicted in like the forest or something. Like
Yeah, they
That's
like
true.
a lot of them like forests.
So Aradel asks for permission to leave Gondolin. She goes to her brother and asks permission, even if it's just for a little while. She just needs to get out.
Got to get out.
But Turgon is unwilling to let her go because he fears the exposure of his hidden kingdom.
Yeah, but eventually, he is a good brother, so he relents and he allows her to leave with an escort to go to her cousin Celegorm, that asshole,
One
over
of
in
the one of the
Himlad.
sons of Feanor.
Yeah, one of the sons of Feanor over in Himlad.
that sounds like a mistake.
Technically, they're family, so I think she's just kind of like using that as an excuse as somewhere to go, like, go say hello to family.
And Celegorm is like known to be a great huntsman,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
which is why he was given Huan, right?
Huan, yes.
Yeah.
So after getting permission to leave Gondolin with an escort, on her way over to Himlad with her escort, they pass through a very dangerous region known as Nan Dungortheb. And this region is just known to be full of like monsters and demons and giant spiders and all sorts of horrible shit.
Yeah, and she actually becomes separated from her escort. It's totally on purpose, though, right? She's trying to give him the slip, right?
In a way, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because she doesn't need this.
Yeah, I think she takes advantage of the situation is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
However, Erdhel eventually reaches Himlad safely and waited there to meet Celegorm, who was abroad.
Yeah, and then that escort just returns back to Gondolin and says, "We lost her."
Yeah, pretty much.
We don't know where she went.
So eventually, she started wandering out of boredom. Celegorm was away on this hunting trip for a really long time, so she just started wandering around that region out of boredom, and she ended up becoming lost in the forest of Nan Elmoth.
Yeah, there the trees grew to be the tallest and darkest in all of Beleriand, blocking the sun entirely from the forest floor. Isn't that kind of like the Black Forest in Germany,
Mhm.
right? Isn't that supposed to be? Isn't that why they call it the Black Forest?
I've never heard of that.
You never heard of the Black Forest?
No.
That sounds like it'd be a really
It's in
cool
like
place to visit.
Bavaria, right? I think it's in Bavaria. It's in Germany.
Bavaria.
The Black Forest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real place. I
believe
promise.
you. I believe you. I'm not doubting you.
It's in Europe.
It sounds like it would be a cool place to visit.
Yeah, a lot of people go there. I think it's in Bavaria. I'm not sure. It's in Germany somewhere.
Well, Nan Elmoth was a smaller forest right adjacent to the forests of Doriath. I think, like you mentioned earlier, it was under the rule of King Thingol, the Sindarin king, but
Oh yeah.
the only traffic that really came near this little forest was just one of the dwarf roads that went off to the Blue Mountains. So this little forest region was kind of left alone. It was kind of remote.
Mm-hmm.
And in this forest is where Aradel met Aol the Dark Elf.
Ooh.
Ew, gross.
The Dark Elf. It's a cool name, though. Ale?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of cool name. Cool name for a piece of shit.
We are talking
Yeah,
about
so-
assholes, I guess.
Now we've got to talk about Maeglin's father, Aol, a little bit.
Yup, Aol, known as the Dark Elf by anyone who hates him, which is everybody except for dwarves, he was a great smith who lived in Nan Elmoth.
Yeah, he was a very unique elf. He was notable for his solitary lifestyle. He was pretty much the only one that lived in Nan Elmoth. And he was also known for his close friendship with the dwarves, which was kind of odd for an elf to be so close to dwarves.
Yeah, especially because he's not Noldor, right? He's Sindarin.
Right, yeah.
Kind of weird, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He also is known for inventing the black metal known as Galvorn,
Yes.
the special metal made from a meteorite.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, and he uses it to forge the two swords Anglikel and Angriel, and they're known for being so hard that they can cut through regular iron swords.
They can. It says, "quote cleave all earth delved metals."
Yeah.
Cleave.
Yeah.
Cleave, literally. So, like, if we ever saw Turin in a movie, he would literally be able to cut through other people's swords and shit.
I
And,
wonder.
like, cut through their armor and shit.
Yeah.
I wonder how much you actually have to sharpen it. Like,
I don't know.
It goes dull at one point when it kills its friend.
Yeah, another unique thing about those blades is they're also like semi-sentient.
Yeah, dude.
oh, okay,
That's
right.
crazy.
We've talked about
Yeah.
the sentient blades.
Yeah, they're very unique blades.
They come not into this tale, really. Well, one of them does.
But Aol was also known to be a very talented night rider. He could see very well at night.
Yeah, dude.
His face is described as noble yet grim, and his eyes could see deep into shadows and dark places, being night-sighted.
Yeah.
So he has dark vision.
Yeah, he has dark vision.
He has dark vision.
He has dark vision. Yep. So he is also akin, technically, he's related to King Thingol of the Teleri.
Yeah, of the Teleri.
Mm-hmm.
And Eol fucking hated the Noldor.
Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Has a very big beef with the Noldor.
Yeah. He hates them.
He considered them stuck up and prideful. He blamed them for settling in Sindar lands. He blamed them for all the current issues in Beleriand regarding Morgoth and his orcs. And most importantly, he hated them for the kinslaying of
Alqualonde.
Okay.
That's a great word.
Here's the thing. Yeah, Alqualonde is a cool, fun word, right? It's
yeah.
a Quenya word. But here's the thing, guys. I gotta say, he's got points here. Almost all these points are kind of valid.
It's true.
If you look at them.
It's true.
They're stuck up and prideful. Literally, pride is why Feanor is here in the first place, right?
All of his sons are very prideful, too.
He's blaming them for settling Sindar lands, which they totally do.
Yep.
They totally do that. All the current issues in Beleriand are because of them. Remember, the Sindar had Morgoth like on the run before the Noldor got there, remember? And then they had like a huge battle when the Noldor got there, remember?
I thought the Sindar were like under-equipped to deal with all of that until the Noldor got there.
Either way, it is their fault. The current issues in Beleriand.
Bottom line, it's true. Most of these are all valid points, and
He's hating on them for good reasons.
And the kinslaying at Alqualonde, you can't get around that. I mean, most of them participate in
that's a straight up like fucking war crime.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe not good reasons. Let's say reasonable.
They're reasonable. I mean, he's a dick, but he's got his hatred is founded.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, in the year 316 of the First Age, Turgon's sister Eredel strays into the woods of Nan Elmoth, where Eol lives. And seeing Eredel and noticing how beautiful she is, Eol set enchantments about her so that she could not find her way, so she'd get lost and wouldn't be able to escape the forest. She ended up just going deeper and deeper into the forest.
That's rude.
Yeah, and she eventually wandered into Eol's dwelling deep in the woods, where he finally revealed himself to her.
Aha.
In the Silmarillion, it is stated that Eol then, quote, took her to wife, and it was long ere any of her kin heard from her again. So guess what, guys? We don't want to use the R word, but this is not consensual.
Yeah, it's not very clear whether Eredel consented to marrying Eol, and just given the whole situation with him like putting enchantments and tricking her into even talking to him in the first, it seems pretty.
Yeah, it's pesty.
It seems pretty not okay.
It's a weird way to try to court somebody.
Yeah.
So it's not entirely clear if there's consent in there, but I mean, Eol is kind of a dick. So I mean,
I'm giving him the not benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, not okay. But ultimately, Eredel did end up living with Eol in the dark woods of Nan Elmoth for nearly a century. And during this time, she gave birth to her only child and the actual subject of today's episode.
Today's asshole.
Maeglin.
We got to the asshole.
We finally found it.
Let's get into the asshole's early life. Let's do it.
Did you really have to say, let's get into the asshole?
Let's get into that asshole. Let's really plunge deep into this asshole here, guys.
Let's do it.
Maeglin was born in the year First Age 320 in Nan Elmoth.
Eon was the name, right? Eon?
I think so.
I think that's how you say it, Eon, yeah.
Eon was the first name given to Maeglin by Eol, which simply means sun in Sindarin.
Real creative.
Which is really funny. He's going to like this reference, but this is the exact same thing that our editor does in Stardew Valley. He's friggin' crazy. He'll literally just name his children son and daughter, and then he'll go through our farm and name all the cows and stuff like cow 1 and the cow 2.
We've got goat and chicken.
Yeah, goat, chicken. He let me name my cat after Che Guevara. That was it.
That was the the only leeway you got.
Yeah.
It's funny.
He'll like that reference.
So, at the time of Maeglin's birth, Eredel secretly gave Maeglin the name of Lomian, which means child of the twilight in Quenya. I'm sure she probably didn't want to use much Quenya around Eol, because he hates the Noldor.
Oh, yeah, you don't want the language of the kinslayers, yeah.
No.
Is there a reason that child of the twilight is given?
Because it's dark in the forest, I'm
I
imagining.
think because he was born in a dark forest.
Yeah, I think that's why.
I think that's all.
That's what I always thought, at least.
Pretty.
It's dark.
I guess
pretty
that's
dark in Nan Elmoth, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very dark. Very dark.
It's like Twilight all the time.
So as Maeglin grew, he appeared to resemble the Noldor rather than the Sindar. He was very tall, he had black hair, dark eyes, and he had that particularly pale skin that the Noldor have.
But in mood and mind, he resembled his father. And we have an excerpt from the Silmarillion, chapter 16, of Maeglin, from Trevor.
His words were few, save in matters that touched him near, and then his voice had a power to move those that heard him, and to overthrow those that withstood him. He was tall and black-haired, his eyes were dark, yet bright and keen as the eyes of the Noldor, and his skin was white.
Like Snow White. And the
Snow
seven-
White and the Seven Dwarves.
That's right, all 7 of them.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
Tolkien hated, remember?
That's true, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, he fucking hated that movie.
So Maeglin also had some characteristics that set him apart from his father.
Yeah, and we got this is fun here. We got an excerpt from War of the Jewels. That's History of Middle-earth Series Volume 11, Part 3, Maeglin.
Maeglin had, even more than his father, very bright eyes, and was both physically very keen-sighted and mentally very penetrant, and quick to interpret the looks and gestures of people and perceive their thoughts and purposes. So he's really good at reading people.
Yeah, dude. Growing up, Maeglin would often go with his father to the dwarven cities in the eastern Blue Mountains.
There he eagerly learned anything the dwarves would teach him.
Yeah, and this, of course, made him a very great and talented smith.
But he was particularly excellent at the craft of finding metal ores in the mountains and mining them.
Yeah, I think I call that prospecting,
Yeah,
right?
essentially. So he was a real good prospector, and he loved that.
Yeah. If you said I was a prospector, I would agree.
I would agree. I'm a
This is-
fabric man.
This is my son and associate HW.
I'm an oil man.
Well, despite his similarities to his father, it is said that Maeglin favored his mother, Earthel. And Maeglin grew up hearing tales from his mother about the fantastic hidden city of Gondolin and King Turgon, his uncle.
Yeah, his
His
super cool.
own uncle, a
Yeah.
king.
A king, dude.
In a hidden city, like you got a fairy tale that's like linked to your own family line.
Yeah.
Right.
That's super sick.
Right? That's the best, like, you could go there someday. It's in secret. But
Yeah, imagine if your mom told you stories like that and then told you, this is all fucking real.
It's all real,
Yeah,
dog.
yeah, except she doesn't tell you that you can never return once you find it, and you set off on your journey to find it before she reveals that to you on your 17th birthday when the truth is finally revealed.
What are you talking about?
What are you
bro?
talking about?
Oh, you know, just some like really long, weird story.
You can't have any more gummies. Okay.
So most importantly, during these tales that he heard from his mother, he noted that the king, Turgon, of this hidden city had no heir to the throne. And this is when his own fantasies of leaving the dark forest of Nan Elmoth began stirring in him.
Yeah. After telling her son so many tales about Gondolin, Eredel began longing to see her people again. But despite Maeglin's pleas, Eredel would never reveal to him the location of Gondolin.
Yeah, he kept asking, but she wouldn't tell him.
Yeah, Maeglin actually resorted to trying to subtly weasel the secret from his mother over time.
Little fucking weasel.
Yeah, what a weasel.
He even attempted to use his skills to read her unguarded mind. And if you'll remember in past episodes, we talked about this power that some elves have. It's called Osonwe.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize he had this power too, a Sunway, like Elrond and Galadriel
Right,
and
yep.
Finrod.
Yeah, and he was trying to abuse that power and use it against his own mother.
Yeah,
Oh,
that would-
wow.
I guess suppose it would really suck if a dick had that power.
Yeah,
Oh, damn, that sucks.
but luckily he was ultimately unsuccessful. He wasn't able to get the location from her.
Wow. Are you guys telling me this guy's going to be some kind of manipulator?
Yeah.
That's kind of the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah. You think? You think?
So since he could not see any way to get to Gondolin, Maeglin instead decided that he would like to go meet some of these Noldor elves. So he goes and asks his father's permission to go visit the sons of Feanor to the northeast. This very same... it's funny because this is kind of the exact same excuse that Eredel gave to Turgon when she wanted to leave Gondolin.
Mm-hmm.
The exact same people in the same place. I just want to go see the Sons of Feanor. I want to go see the Noldor.
It's like when you tell your mom you're going to the library, but you're really going to like behind the Blockbuster to get stoned. You know?
Exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
You were thinking Blockbuster too? Wow.
Well, no. I had a you know, like there's like the Family Dollar.
Oh, okay.
Right. Actually, I had a Family Videos.
Oh, sick.
That was
Family
like,
Video, dude.
you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I remember Family. I had a Family Video.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Remember video stores?
I remember that.
Blockbuster.
Sick times, yeah. I fucking loved that shit, man. I used to go to the video store 2-3 times a week. 2-3 times a week.
So after Eöl asked his father permission to go visit the Sons of Feanor, who are technically his kin, Eöl, obviously to no one's surprise, did not agree. And we have an excerpt about this from the Silmarillion, chapter 16 of Maeglin.
When he declared his purpose to Eöl, his father was wrathful. You are of the house of Eöl, Maeglin, my son, he said, and not of the Gondolindrum. All this land is the land of the Teleri, and I will not deal, nor have my son deal with the slayers of our kin, the invaders and usurpers of our homes. In this you shall obey me, or I will set you in bonds. And Maeglin did not answer, but was cold and silent, and went abroad no more with Eöl, and Eöl mistrusted him.
He's straight up like, yeah, I'll tie you up.
I'll tie you the fuck up, dude.
I will put you in bonds.
Yeah, I'd be a little fucking put off by that too.
Yeah, he's got like a rusty radiator, and he's like with a chain
I don't know, guys. It could be
wrapped around it.
Could be kind of hot.
Oh, man.
So in the year 400 of the First Age, during the festival of Midsummer, the dwarves invite Eöl to the dwarven city of Nogrod to go feast and celebrate with them, as they do every year.
Yeah. Maeglin took advantage of this opportunity and tried to convince his mother to leave Nan Elmoth and go to Gondolin with him.
We have an excerpt here about this from the Silmarillion, chapter 16 of Maeglin.
Therefore he said to Erdal, Lady, let us depart while there is time. What hope is there in this wood for you or for me? Here we are held in bondage, and no profit shall I find here, for I have learned all that my father has to teach, or that the Nelgrim will reveal to me. Shall we not seek for Gondolin? You shall be my guide, and I will be your guard. Then Erdal was glad, and looked with pride upon her son, and telling the servants of Eöl that they went to seek the sons of Feanor, they departed and rode away to the north eaves of Nan Elmoth, and then westward along the fences of Doriath, towards Gondolin.
To Gondolin!
To Gondolin, the coolest place forever.
Now, unfortunately, Eöl returned from his feasting a little earlier than either Maeglin or Erdal had planned, and he came and found that they had left less than 2 days prior, which is not that much time.
No.
And he was furious.
He was furious. He was pissed.
He was pissed, and he rode like the wind to go follow them.
Yeah. On their journey to Gondolin, Maeglin and Eredil worked together, and Maeglin was able to defend them both as they traveled through Dangortheb, the Valley of Dreadful Death.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier, that valley that's full of monsters and demons and shit.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, and Erdal was able to find the hidden tunnel to Gondolin.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, Eöl was able to track them and follow them to the hidden entrance.
Yeah, he was able to do that. That sucks.
Yeah, they
Sneaky son of a bitch.
Sneaky son. They did not know that he was following. Sneaky son of a bitch. So Eredil, after meeting some of the Gondolindrum, was instantly recognized by the elves, and Maeglin and Eredil were welcomed with open arms.
Yeah, Turgon, the king, was ecstatic to find that his sister was still friggin' alive, and that she'd come back.
Yeah, what more could you hope for? Like,
the prodigal sister has returned.
And the king immediately accepted Maeglin as family, his own sister son.
How nice. What a warm welcome.
Yeah, he wasn't racist at all about it.
It was great.
He could very well could have been, Trevor.
Welcome.
These elves are racist as shit, dude.
It's true. They are. They are.
It's fucking true.
I guess, but that would suck. That would be extra shitty here, right? Because it's like, hey, you found our secret city that you can't leave. You fucking piece of shit. I hate your guts.
Yeah.
But if you leave, I'll kill you.
You will for never now or be equal to anyone in this city who is not of your kin. You are gross.
You will not find work. You will barely find breadcrumbs in the street to eat.
Yeah.
But you cannot leave.
But you cannot
leave.
That would suck. Oh my god.
So while Maeglin and Aradel were welcomed with open arms, Eol, on the other hand, was captured while trying to sneak into the secret tunnel entrance, and he was taken by the guard to the king for judgment. And at this point, Eol, who already has kind of a short fuse, he was just at the end of his rope, and he was furious. He was not gonna play nice about anything.
This guy's an anger problem, huh?
He does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
He's not a friendly guy.
Is he the
No.
type that would I like this term to Hulk out?
I don't know about Hulk out, but he's just
He's got a sharp tongue.
He's very grim and just very
Yeah.
stern and just not happy all the time. I just feel like he's a dick.
Yeah, he's very verbally pugnacious.
And I picture some real grim person.
Yeah,
I guess.
he sucks. Yeah, he sucks. He's like a goth kid, but like shitty. You know what I mean? Goth people are usually pretty fucking nice, but this
True.
guy sucks. You know.
So King Turgon was friendly and welcomed Eol as family, and the king welcomed Eol to stay and live in the bliss of Gondolin. And the king also told Eol that it was against the law for anyone who find Gondolin to leave, but it's not really a problem because he's welcomed as family, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Eol responded by insulting the king and stating that he does not recognize Noldor laws. Just like, I'll leave if I want to, man. You're gonna keep me here.
What a douchebag! I love this. This next excerpt from the Silmarillion of Maeglin again. That's chapter 16. I fucking love this excerpt.
And so Eol was brought to Turgon's hall and stood before the high seat, proud and sullen. But Turgon treated him with honor and rose up and would take his hand, and he said, "Welcome, kinsman, for so I hold you. Here you shall dwell at your pleasure, save only that you must here abide and depart not from my kingdom. For it is my law that none who finds the way hither shall depart." But Eol withdrew his hand. "I acknowledge not your law," he said. "No right have you or any of your kin in this land to seize realms or to set bounds, either here or there. This is the land of the Teleri, to which you bring war and all unquiet, dealing ever proudly and unjustly. I care nothing for your secrets, and I come not to spy upon you, but to claim my own, my wife and son. Yet if in Aradel, your sister, you have some claim, then let her remain. Let the bird go back to the cage, where soon she will sicken again as she sickened before. But not so Maeglin. My son you shall not withhold from me. Come, Maeglin, son of Eol, your father commands you. Leave the house of his enemies and the slayers of his kin, or be accursed." But Maeglin answered nothing.
Oh yeah, and this pissed off Eol.
You see, I just admit this guy's rage meter just keeps going up.
Yeah, he's got steam coming out of his ears like a cartoon.
He just can't handle it.
Yeah,
And so what's he do? He throws a spear.
yeah, right at Maeglin, his son.
His
what
own
a dick.
son. Yeah, he yells something like, "Fine, then I choose death for me and my son also." And he throws a fucking spear to kill him.
It's okay. So picture this, guys. Eol so far in the story is a huge asshole, right?
Big dick.
He's raging about everywhere.
He is not the subject of today's episode. But
No.
his son is.
His son.
So how big of a dick is Maeglin going to turn out to be? Some foreshadowing.
We're about to find
The
out.
apple doesn't fall
even-
far from the tree, they say.
But even worse than this dude.
Yeah, we're about to find out.
The apple that was rotted when it fell, already.
Gross. Crab apples, right?
So Eol throws a spear at Maeglin to kill him, but Maeglin's mother, Aradel, dives in front of the spear and shields her son and is wounded. But unfortunately, what nobody knew was that Eöl had poisoned the tip of the spear.
Nice.
What an asshole!
Yeah.
Yeah.
So later that night, Eöl dies of poisoning.
Yeah.
So naturally, at this point, King Turgon is pretty fucking furious that he just murdered his sister and, had all this big scene in the middle of his court. So,
And Eöl was brought before Turgon and sentenced to death for by being thrown from a precipice, which means they're just going to chuck him out of the city, literally yeet him over the fucking wall.
That
Yeah.
kind of sounds like a cool way to go.
because the city of Gondolin is elevated
Yeah.
from the land around it.
Yep. And they're just going to chuck him off the edge.
As long as the impact is instant death, cool. Like if I got
We'll see
to
here.
be murdered, yeah, we'll see. All right,
We'll see.
All right.
Just wait, bud.
Yeah, well, but before they yeet Eöl off the edge, he gets a little more specific with this curse that he places on his son Maeglin.
Ooh, curse.
Yeah, that's right. So here's another excerpt from that same chapter 16 of the Silmarillion of Maeglin.
Therefore, when Eöl was brought before Turgon, he found no mercy. And they led him forth to the Cadagdur, a precipice of black rock upon the north side of the hill of Gondolin, there to cast him down from the sheer walls of the city. And Maeglin stood by and said nothing. But at the last Eöl cried out, So you forsake your father and his kin, ill-gotten son. Here shall you fail of all your hopes, and here may you yet die the same death as I. Then they cast Eöl over the Caragdur, and so he ended. And to all in Gondolin, it seemed just.
I love that. I love how that ends.
It's one of my favorite quotes from the Silmarillion, honestly.
It seemed just.
And just the fact that they throw in that additional bit at the end of the sentence, and to all in Gondolin it seemed just. It's just
Yeah. Fuck it.
yeah, he was a dick.
He was a dick.
Everyone thought it was just
That's what we do in Gondolin. We chuck dicks off the wall.
right over the
You
edge.
think that would have been the learning experience for Maeglin, right?
Yeah.
Like your dad comes up in here, causes a ruckus.
Yeah.
They threw him off a wall. You never saw him again.
Yeah.
Like he's gone.
These cats be eating folks down here. Yeah.
But his dad got pretty specific with that curse before they threw him over.
Yeah.
But if you want to know anything more about this curse or any of the other fun curses in Tolkien, go back and check out our episode 60, Doom Trilogy Part 3, where we talk about curses in Tolkien.
Versus, yeah, we really like that trilogy.
The Doom Trilogy was quality.
We like it.
Quality, my friends.
I think it's our most like KOT original idea too. I think.
I'm pretty proud of us for that.
Yeah, I like it. But Maeglin was now an orphan, but in Gondolin, Turgon held him in high honor. Can we just stop for a second here? We got to talk about this.
Okay.
So Maeglin, it says that Maeglin's an orphan, right?
Yeah.
This reminds me of an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where Funkhauser's last living parent dies, and he's like in his 60s, and he's like, "Now I'm an orphan." And then Larry is just like, "How can you be an orphan if you're grown up?" I say he's not an orphan now. He's grown up.
I mean, isn't an orphan just a person who doesn't have parents? Is it
So
actually
everybody,
definitively a
do you have to
child?
be-
Everybody in the nursing home is an orphan.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Damn,
If
that's
you look at it
scary.
that
Is
way.
there an age requirement to which you get your orphan card?
Yeah, I'd say like
Right.
17.
Right. Like if you
16,
lost your parents
17?
before this age, you are now and forever will be an orphan.
Yeah, it's 16, 17.
Okay. I mean, I'm okay with that logic. If you lost your parents at 22, that's just sad.
Just shitty, yeah.
And you're not an orphan. You don't get the orphan
Correct.
card.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my logic at least.
Because you were an adult when it happened.
I don't know.
Is that what we're saying?
Am I going to get some angry emails from people that are
I mean,
like,
I don't know what the we're just trying to clear up a definition, right?
I'm 45 and I'm an orphan. Like,
I'm still an orphan.
Right, no, but did you meet the criteria? We just laid out a list. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Okay. Well, let us know. Keep on Tolkien podcast at gmail.com.
So enthusiastic.
Yes.
I am eager to hear from you. But Maeglin, he continued living in Gondolin until its actual eventual fall, which is just over 100 years, just over a century.
100
So
years.
He was there for a pretty long time.
Damn.
Although for elves, I suppose that's not that long, really.
Not super long, but I mean, in the span of Gondolin, it's pretty long.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, that can happen in 100 years.
Yeah,
So
dude.
let's talk about Maeglin's life in Gondolin.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Living in Gondolin. Yeah.
Oh my god, can that be one of those new Lord of the Rings TV shows they're talking about? We'll just
Living in
get,
Gondolin.
yeah, it'll
Yeah.
be like a sitcom, but they're living in Gondolin back in the First Age.
That'd be sick. I'd watch it.
So living in Gondolin, Maeglin learned much about smithing and craft, and he became an elven prince held in high esteem, even leading his own noble house, the House of the Mole.
House of the Mole.
Yeah, and I'm saying
He's
like
a prospector, makes sense, right?
I
it makes
suppose.
sense, but like give him House of the fucking Badger. Like what? A mole? That's disgusting. Like
What's wrong with moles?
they're nasty looking. Have you seen one?
Yeah.
The mole. I mean, I guess mole, it's kind of ironic because moles are sort of a slang term too for traitors, right? Or double agents.
Yeah,
So I suppose it's kind of
it's foreshadowing.
foreshadowing almost.
Yeah.
So he was apparently very talented at finding rich loads of metals.
That's right. Rich loads.
Rich loads of metals.
Yeah, rich loads.
And how do you say that? Ecoriath?
In the Ecoriath.
In the
that's
Ecoriath.
that's basically the elvish name for the encircling mountains.
Around the city, yeah. Okay. That's a cool word.
Yeah, so his mine in the Ecoriath was named Engabar, which is iron mine. Pretty straightforward.
Is that okay? So what is Angband?
Angband it sounds very similar, but that's
Means-
Melkor's stronghold in the
Does
far
it mean
north.
Iron Fortress, I presume?
Iron Fortress?
Is it the same language?
Yes.
Yeah, Cinderin.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're
Okay,
right to
okay.
connect those words.
That's cool.
The Ang and Ang Habar and the Ang and Ang Band are
It's
the same
iron.
Ang.
Yeah.
It's iron.
This is how you eventually learn a bunch of words in Elvish.
Yeah, you just read so many words and you recognize the similarities and you're like,
Yep.
like Meath,
Yeah, Meath is gray.
gray or silver,
Mm-hmm.
Mithril, Mithraud.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Enough about the Elvish language.
Yeah.
Maeglin forged.
Yeah, he got into forging steel, stronger than had ever been seen in Gondolin before.
He was famous.
The seventh and final gate of Gondolin, the Great Gate of Steel, was Maeglin's creation.
Yeah.
One of his crowning achievements.
7 gates. Are they all, I'm assuming it's the strongest, greatest, best thing.
Yep.
The
It's like the
handful
last
of gates.
resort gate, yeah.
Yeah,
And
the first gate is like just those beads that hang down at like hippies' houses. And then the second one is like made of wood.
Are they like just like inner
Oh
gate?
no, cardboard and then wood.
Are they like the inner gate like walls, right? Like you keep going inner.
Yeah, and it gets stronger and stronger. You
Yeah,
get
so
a
I
wooden gate, iron gate.
And we
steel.
saw how that sort of thinking worked for the Titanic, right?
Oh yeah, how it hit the iceberg and then immediately sunk. Yeah,
Yeah, the inner gates just kind of filled up.
it didn't work the way it was supposed to, Trevor.
I know.
The Titanic had flawed engineering, which is why it's still at the bottom of the
That
ocean.
unsinkable kingdom.
Yeah, dude.
So next, let's talk about another important character in the life of Maeglin, and that is Idril. Idril Celebrimbor.
Celebrimbor is any
Celebrimbor.
relation to Celebrimbor?
No.
No. Oh,
No, Caleb means silver, right? Or gold, right?
It might be. I'm
I think
not
it's
sure.
gold. Yeah.
She was, I believe she was blonde haired, so that might make sense.
Yeah, I think it's gold.
So Idril was the daughter and the only child of High King Turgon. And Idril, she was a beautiful elf maiden and known for being wise and far-sighted. We have a quick excerpt here from the chapter 15 of the Silmarillion.
but fairer than all the wonders of Gondolin was Idril, Turgon's daughter. She that was called Celebrimbor, the Silverfoot, whose hair was as the gold of Laurelin before the coming of Melkor.
Well, there's your answer.
There's the answer. It was silver.
Silverfoot.
Yeah, there we go.
So over time, Maeglin's greatest desire began to be to take Idril to be his wife. But this was sort of all in vain because Idril was actually his own first cousin.
See why it was Ewan gross.
Yeah, and to the Noldor and pretty much anyone at that time, such a relationship with someone so close in kin was considered twisted and wrong.
Taboo.
an abomination.
Yeah, even in fantasy world, incest is not okay.
Yeah. And I have a theory here, guys, and I believe this with my whole heart, and it's controversial, but I think that Pornhub could have saved Gondolin.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I do. If Maeglin would have just seen what's on Pornhub now, I don't think we would have had what happens next at all.
Oh, yeah, Danny J. Theory.
Yeah.
Pornhub would have saved Gondolin.
Mm-hmm.
New spin-off.
So, furthermore, Idril was well aware of Maeglin's thoughts concerning her, and she pretty much avoided him and despised him for it.
He told her?
No, but
He
I think it
didn't
was
actually tell her, but I think
No.
it was pretty obvious.
I think it was just one of those things where it was just like kind of.
What, did she
Clear.
find him like bent over a bush whacking it? Like,
I don't know, dude.
I mean, you can
Maybe.
tell by people how people act sometimes, you know.
I guess.
And so, therefore, the love inside Maeglin's heart turned to darkness. And even though he had neither Idril nor the kingship of Gondolin, he still endured in silence, waiting for his opportunity to seize them both.
Dun, dun, dun.
So next we got to talk about another two characters that come in contact with Maeglin in his life, and whose life he affects as well, and that would be Hurin and Huor of the House of Hador.
Yeah, in First Stage 456, these two brothers of the man race.
Humans.
The man race.
Human
Humans.
men.
I hate using the word human when we're in Tolkien. Because
Human.
I don't even think, is it a word you'd use? They're men.
They're men.
Men.
They're men.
Two,
They're men.
two men. Two brothers
They're
of
men.
men.
Two brothers of men, Hurin Thalion and Huor of the House of Hador, my favorite house of the Edain.
Mm-hmm.
They joined a group of scouts in their homeland of Hithlum.
Soon after they joined up, they were assailed by orcs. The brothers were separated from the scouts and were pursued to the ford of Brithiak.
Yeah, dude. But suddenly, our boy who's always got our back, always and forever, our favorite Valar, Ulmo. He steps in. He sends this cool ass mist out to hide the brothers so they can escape to Dimbar. And where are they? And they are picked up by our other homies. Who, Trevor?
The Eagles of Manwë.
Of course.
Yeah, and the Eagles bring the brothers to the hidden city of Gondolin to be safe. Why the Eagles chose there, nobody really knows. But that's where the Eagles brought him, and Turgon welcomed the brothers, despite the fact that they were men. Men normally wouldn't be welcome here, but Turgon was fond of their grandfather, Hador, who was a famous elf friend in the past.
Hold on. The Eagles can leave?
Yeah, well, they can fly.
They're not fucking... Yeah, they can leave. They're
Eagles-
birds.
Eagles can do whatever the fuck
Oh,
they
but
want.
the Eagles are intelligent. Like, could
Yeah.
the Eagles, like, be...
The Eagles obviously know where Gondolin is. That's the thing. What if they were just like, those Eagles were fucked up when they were like, oh, look at those two elves down there in trouble.
Oh, they just messed up. They couldn't tell the
Better.
difference.
Better bring back to Gondolin,
I'm telling
man.
you, guys, the Eagles actually are working for Bombadil and his evil plan.
His evil
His
shit.
evil shit.
Yeah, they're his eyes. That's how he knows what's going on.
His eyes and ears. That's true. Maybe it is, man.
Could be.
It will now and forever be a Tolkien
mystery.
Mm-hmm. So these brothers, they were the first men allowed to live in the city of Gondolin, and they were given high stations in the city. They were pretty much treated like princes. And
Yeah, royalty?
Naturally that pissed off Maeglin to no end.
Yeah, because Turgon was fond of their grandfather, Hador, he worked for Fingolfin, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think
can't
it was
quite remember.
Fingolfin. He worked for their house anyway. But he was a famous elf friend, regardless.
But Maeglin generally hates the race of men, and he is overall jealous little shit that hates anyone that has the favor of Turgon. So the fact that Turgon was liking these men, he didn't like that at all.
Did not at all. Yeah, they were treated as princes, pissed off Maeglin because he hates the race of men. And after having a great time in Gondolin for a few years, the brothers began to return home to their people.
Yeah, there was a war going on at home, and they wanted to help out, but naturally leaving is not permitted by the laws of the Gondolindrum.
At all, remember?
Yeah, anyone that looks upon the hidden city must remain there.
Yeah, and
Whatever.
Hurin and Huor, they kind of realized that for mortals, that kind of means you die there, because they don't
Yeah.
live as long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You kind of marry Gondolin, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Till death do you part.
But Hurin and Huor, they actually make a pretty good plea to Turgon to ask their permission to leave. And Turgon, he decides to sidestep the law and allows them to leave by the way they came if the Eagles are willing, but because they don't actually know the actual location of the city.
Oh, right, because they were airlifted in.
They were airlifted in.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, so the two men aren't really sure where the city is anyway. So.
Damn, what a technicality / loophole.
I think it's fair. I think
Yeah,
it's fair.
not saying it's unfair. Just like, you know what? If you were smart about it, this is how you get to Gondolin.
I think Turgon is a pretty smart king. Like, I like Turgon. But yeah, this really pisses off Maeglin. Oh my god.
Maeglin wants out, yeah.
Yeah, and Maeglin straight up gives them shit to their face, right? And we got an excerpt here from the Silmarillion, chapter 18, of the ruin of Beleriand and the fall of Fingolfin.
But Maeglin, the king's sister's son, who was mighty in Gondolin, grieved not at all at their going, though he begrudged them the favor of the king, for he had no love for any of the kindred of men. And he said to Hurin, "The king's grace is greater than you know, and the law is become less stern than aforetime, or else no choice would be given you but to abide here to your life's end."
Yeah, dude. He's like,
You don't know how good you have it.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be able to leave.
Yeah, but ultimately they are allowed to leave. Like we said, by Eagle. And, both brothers go on to have children. And they, greatly affect the destiny of Middle-earth, of course. you know?
yeah.
Yeah, so it's
So
really,
it's a good thing.
really good they were allowed to leave.
Yeah, because otherwise that would have sucked and
Yeah.
those people would have never been born.
Yeah, it's kind of like Gondolin it was like a checkpoint for destiny for them, you know?
Yeah, for serious. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. So let's get into another man and another fun elf, Tuor and Veronwe.
Yeah, a couple other new characters we have to talk about a little bit, to talk about
Yeah,
Maeglin.
because Maeglin hates a lot of people, and we got to get into who Maeglin hates.
So, during the fell winter of the First Age, 496, Gondolin received two unexpected guests. Veronwe, an elf of Gondolin, who had been thought to be lost at sea, and Tuor, son of Huor, who had recently left Gondolin.
Didn't
Yeah,
we just talk about the Fell Winters?
We did just talk about the fell winters.
Yes, we did.
Episode 76, go check it out.
Because wasn't Turgon actually secretly sending sailors off to ask the Valar for help, right?
Yeah, he knew that Gondolin was going to fall eventually, and
Yeah.
so he was sending sailors out secretly.
And Veronwe got shipwrecked and came back, right?
Yeah, pretty much all of them either got shipwrecked or
Drowned.
drowned.
Yeah.
Tragic.
Yeah, that's what happens when you try to get to Valinor and you're not welcome there.
Yeah, you haven't unlocked that boss key yet.
Yeah.
So these two guys show up at the secret gate of Gondolin, and Tuor, as it turns out, had been sent to Gondolin by Ulmo himself to deliver an ominous message to King Turgon.
Yeah, Ulmo's message was to remind Turgon of the doom of the Noldor and to warn him of the coming fall of Gondolin, which is inevitable.
Inevitable.
And when Tuor came, carrying Ulmo's warning of the danger to Gondolin, Maeglin sat on the right hand of Turgon and argued against Tuor.
Of course, because he's racist.
Yeah, these arguments made by Maeglin were instrumental in convincing Turgon not to leave Gondolin, despite Ulmo's warnings.
Bad idea.
Turgon, because of his pride, his hubris, he ultimately ignored Ulmo's warning and decided to stay in Gondolin and trust the city's strength. That is always worked in the past, right?
Yeah,
Always.
just turtle up, you know? You just
Turtle up, dude.
Turgon also recognizes Huor as Tuor's son. He was like, oh yeah, I loved your dad. He was here for a little bit.
Yeah, that guy was cool.
And so the king naturally welcomes Tuor to Gondolin with open arms.
Yeah.
So Tuor had no problem with this rule against leaving Gondolin because ultimately at this point Tuor had nowhere to go anyway.
Nowhere else to go. He's escaping slavery.
He was an escaped slave and pretty much anyone else
Yeah.
in his immediate family was dead. So
Everyone he knew was dead.
he also happened to have fallen in love with the king's daughter, Idril.
Of course.
As a
Of
matter
course.
of fact, one more reason for Maeglin to fucking hate him.
Oh, he likes his girl.
And Maeglin did hate him.
Mhm.
Being endeared by the Gondolindrum, Tuor was made leader of the House of the Wing.
Much cooler sounding house than House of the Mole.
House of the Mole sucks.
And 7 years later, in the year 503, Tuor and Idril were actually wed, and Idril bore him a son, Earendil.
Maeglin was
Earendil.
gonna be furious.
Yeah, he does not like any of these people.
No,
anymore.
that only furthers his jealousy of Tuor, and Maeglin and his followers, because he's got a house, they all harbored a secret hatred
Hold on.
Yeah,
So
he
War
creates.
family.
Yeah, he creates a hate group, dude.
He's got a posse.
Yeah, the cult is what I was thinking.
Yeah, he
I
creates.
suppose.
It's a hate cult.
The,
Yeah,
the cult of Maeglin.
no, for real, dude. That's kind of what it is. You'll see in a little bit here. You'll see what they do.
Oh my god, this sounds great.
Well, now we're getting towards the end, my friends. Let's get into the fall of Gondolin now.
Gondolin.
Yeah, the last bit of our story.
And what year? Where do we start off here?
So in the year 510 is when Gondolin's secrecy finally failed. And ultimately, Morgoth never would have found the city if it were not for the treachery of Maeglin, this asshole.
Oh, we're talking that big of an asshole.
Yes, yep. Yes.
Okay,
So
okay.
now you're getting some concept. So defying the king's orders, Maeglin actually would regularly venture outside the encircling mountains like you're not supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
He'd do it searching for new deposits of ore that he could mine. And
deposits.
He's not
Deposits.
satisfied with the loads he could find at home.
He has to get more deposits because he's not satisfied with just loads.
No wonder he's so angry.
So, lost in the mountains, Maeglin ends up getting captured by some orcs and brought directly to Angband to be questioned by Morgoth himself. Because Morgoth knew that Maeglin dwelt in Gondolin, and Morgoth was pretty eager to learn where it is.
And there, Morgoth threatened Maeglin with unimaginable torment, but also the promise of lordship of Gondolin and possession of Idril,
His cousin.
his cousin. You want her? I'll take her for you.
And Maeglin eagerly agreed to this bargain and willingly revealed the location of Gondolin to Melkor. And we've got an excerpt about this from the Silmarillion, chapter 23 of Tuor and the Fall of Gondolin.
Maeglin was no weakling or craven, but the torment wherein he was threatened cowed his spirit, and he purchased his life and freedom by revealing to Morgoth the very place of Gondolin, in the ways hereby it might be found and assailed. Great indeed was the joy of Morgoth, and to Maeglin he promised the lordship of Gondolin as his vassal, and the possession of Idril Celebrimbor, when the city should be taken. And indeed, desire for Idril and hatred for Tuor led Maeglin the easier to his treachery, most infamous in all the histories of the elder days. Hell yeah.
Do you know what time it is now?
And you know what time it is now, guys? We got a real special thing for you.
One of our favorite things.
One of our favorite things, Minter! Minter time!
Whoop whoop.
We hope you enjoy this minterd about this scene with Morgoth and Maeglin.
Yeah, what we just heard about, we're going to hear about in the Minter universe.
Right. So what? Next time on X-Men.
Next time on X-Men. There we go.
For it was in this time that Gondolin stood alone in defiance of Morgoth. His hatred pursued Turgon, and his servants scoured the lands looking for the location of the hidden city. Two of Morgoth's Balrogs are searching high up in the mountains of Dorthonion. They are hoping to find any trace of Gondolin or its people. So far, their search has been fruitless. The Balrogs talk to pass the time. They have come upon a point of contention, and they are in a heated debate.
No. All I'm saying is that if you want a Juicy Lucy, you gotta go to Matt's. Otherwise, you ain't having a Juicy Lucy. You know what I mean?
Oh, what about that 5-8 club, though, eh? Now that's a good juicy Lucy, you know what I mean?
No, you know what I mean? I know what you mean, but hey, 5-8 is a good burger, don't get me wrong, but that ain't the original Juicy Lucy, hey. They don't even friggin' spell it right, hey?
Wait, what do you mean? How do you spell it?
Oh, geez, you don't even know how to spell it? Good grief.
You know, we got a long walk here, hey. Just spell the damn word, you know what I mean?
Oh, fine. Jucylucy. Pretty easy.
Not sure I agree with your spelling work there, bud, but,
It's supposed to be spelled wrong, you dummy.
oh, hey, now don't get all bent out of shape, you know. You know what I mean. We got a long walk here.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. We'll just have to agree to disagree. You know what I mean? I say Matt has the best Juicy Lucy, and that's it, hey?
Oh, yeah, all right, hey, just agree to disagree.
The Balrogs walked on in silence for a while, but before long, the silence was broken.
Oh, I know. I got a question for you. What if you want a Juicy Lucy, but you're in St. Paul and don't want to drive over to Cedar.
Oh, that's an easy one, hey. You go over to Shamrocks on West 7th there. This is all pretty rudimentary knowledge, you know what I mean? Are you friggin' new here or what?
Just as the other Balrog opened his mouth to respond, they both went silent. There was a sound in the mountains above. Above them, upon a precipice, was Maeglin, son of Eol. He was in search of ores for smithing. In defiance of the orders of the king, he was seething with anger. Maeglin was full of hate. He hated his uncle Turgon, but above all he hated Tuor, a man of the house of Hador. Tuor had just recently married the king's daughter Idril. The problem with that is that Maeglin was secretly in love with Idril. And the problem with that is that Idril is his first cousin. Gross.
Frig it anyway. Who the heck does Tuor think he is anyway, you know what I mean? Friggin' stinky butt man coming in here like he owns the damn place. Yeah, that dog just won't hunt, you know what I mean? I'll get back at that jerk one of these days. Oh yeah, you just wait and see, eh?
Maeglin searched along the rock walls for veins of ore, but still he continued to rant.
And who does Turgon think he is anyway? Telling me, Maeglin, the greatest smith of Gondolin, that I can't leave to go find his precious ore? I ain't gonna sit twiddling my thumbs all day, hey? That's for the frickin' birds, you know?
Maeglin picked up a rock and threw it off the precipice. He began to soften.
But then there's... her...
He threw up his hands and then put them over his heart dramatically.
Oh, sweet Idril. Oh, yeah, you know I want you. You are so pretty, hey, I just wanna... you know what I mean.
Maeglin turned to the corner, hunched his shoulders, and rubbed his hands together. He had a super creepy look on his face.
And so freaking what if she's my cousin? I don't give a hoot. It's not that weird. It's not like we grew up together. As a matter of fact, it's kind of hot, you know what I mean?
Just then, Maeglin got a strange feeling, other than his impure feelings about his cousin. He had the feeling he was being watched. He spun around and, standing before him, he saw two huge Balrogs. They were standing with their heads down, staring at the ground. One was twiddling with his whip, trying to look casual. The other kicked his foot gently against the ground anxiously.
Oh no. How much of that did you guys hear?
The Balrog stayed silent for a moment. Then, one of them sheepishly responded.
Yeah. Pretty much all of it there, bud.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. So, cousin, huh?
Maeglin did not respond. He looked at the ground embarrassed. A few moments passed in silence. Nobody moved.
What do you think we should do with old cousin fucker here, huh?
The other Balrog looked as if he didn't know what to do.
Oh, kick his ass, I suppose, hey? Don't you think?
Oh yeah, I suppose we should, eh?
The Balrogs moved forward and proceeded to wail on Maeglin, and they really beat his ass. The Balrogs took turns holding him while the other went to work on him. They slapped the shit out of his creepy face, kicked him while he was down. One of them even stomped on his balls. Finally, when the Balrogs got tired, they stopped their epic beatdown. They sat down with a sigh. Maeglin was whimpering on the ground.
Oh, shut up there, cousin fucker. I don't want to hear from you, hey?
The other Balrog looked down at Maeglin in disgust.
Well, what should we do with old cousin fucker here, huh?
Oh, well, I guess we better bring him back to Angband, don't you think?
Oh yeah, I suppose we better, eh? He's from Gondolin. Boss will want to talk to him, you know what I mean?
And take him back to Angband they did. The journey was awkward, for the Balrogs found it difficult to speak to Maeglin or even look him in the eye. When they got to Angband, they descended deep into the throne room. Maeglin was terrified. The throne room was full of Morgoth's most trusted Balrogs. They all sat around the throne where Melkor sat wearing the Iron Crown. He looked down at Maeglin in disgust.
And who is this here now that comes before the mighty Melkor, hey?
The Balrogs chanted in response.
Melkor,
Melkor, Melkor.
Oh, yeah, woo,
yeah.
Melkor rules.
Woo! Maeglin looked up at Morgoth and was silent. The light of the two Silmarils lit up his face.
Oh, I see. Ain't this a tater tot in a whole different hot dish now, hey?
Hot dish, hot dish, hot dish.
If my eyes ain't broke, I'd say that's Maeglin, son of Eol, hey?
Maeglin! Maeglin! Maeglin!
What you doing out of Gondolin? Won't your precious uncle be worried?
Maeglin finally found his words and responded to Melkor.
Oh, well, I left in secret, so, please, Lord, don't hurt me.
Yeah, we beat his ass pretty good there earlier.
Did we wail on him again some more, eh?
Morgoth turned to the two Balrogs.
Where was he found?
We found him in Dorthonion. He was looking for ore, hey?
The Balrogs stopped speaking and looked embarrassed.
There's one more thing we found out, too.
You better tell me what it is then, hey?
Well, I don't really want to say it out loud, but it's kind of different, so,
Oh, yeah?
The Balrog moved to Morgoth's throne and whispered into his ear.
Oh, yeah? Huh. Gross. Okay, yeah. Yeah, thanks for the info, bud.
Morgoth turned back to Maeglin with a smile.
Okay. Hey there, bud. You know what? I don't see why there isn't any reason we can't be friends here, you know what I mean?
friends? What do you mean?
Melkor beamed at Maeglin.
Well, it seems we maybe be able to help each other out, maybe, you think?
Help each other out?
Well, I just heard you're really mad at your uncle and that you
Melkor broke eye contact and looked as though he was about to laugh.
you want to fuck your cousin.
At that, there was a huge uproar from the Balrogs and Morgoth. Oh my god!
Cousin fucker!
Cousin fucker!
Oh, cousin fucker!
Hey, shut up. It's not that weird.
Melkor and the Balrogs finally stopped laughing.
Yeah, you know what, bud? It is pretty fucking weird. But to each his own, hey?
Maeglin looked small and pathetic in front of Morgoth and the Balrogs. He looked as if he was going to cry.
Now, in all seriousness, hey, let's make a deal maybe. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what do you mean?
You see, I really hate your uncle too, and I would really like to take his city and kill him, okay?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I already knew that, hey?
Well, think about it. I want to take Gondolin, and you... you want to fuck your cousin.
Cousin fucker! Cousin fucker! Morgoth held up his hand and the Balrogs stopped.
Yeah? So what?
Melkor smiled big and leaned forward in his throne.
Well, all I want you to do is tell me where Gondolin is, and maybe help me destroy it from inside, and I'll let you... I'll let you fuck your cousin. And furthermore...
Deal.
Wait, you didn't let me finish, hey.
Deal.
Okay, well, you shall also be the lord of the city and rule it in the name of Melkor forever.
Oh, yeah, sure, that sounds pretty good, too.
Hail, cousin fucker! Hail, cousin fucker!
Thanks, I guess.
Maeglin then gave Melkor directions to Gondolin.
Yeah, then it's just right up there on the right. You can't miss it, eh?
And then Maeglin departed freely and returned to Gondolin where he lay in wait. Melkor and his Balrogs laughed long after Maeglin departed. Cousin fucker! Oh man, he's a cousin fucker!
Oh, I haven't laughed like that in a really long time, eh?
Melkor's hand moved to his stomach.
You guys want to get some food? I could really go for a Juicy Lucy, hey?
Yeah! Juicy Lucy! Juicy Lucy! Juicy Lucy!
Oh, yeah, hell yes. And we're gonna go to Matt's. 5-8 Club is fucking bullshit, hey?
All right, you guys.
Well, yeah, hopefully you had fun with that one.
We hope you enjoyed that little, that min-turd bit for you there. If you couldn't tell, we had fun.
I do love the Minturds.
We always have fun, especially when Trevor comes around for them. They're fun.
Well, I'm always going to be around.
Now you're
for
going to
them
always
now.
be here, so
I'm here for
sick.
good. I planted my roots.
Sick.
So jumping back into the life of Maeglin. So after agreeing to Morgoth's terms, Maeglin was set free and returned to Gondolin without suspicion.
Free to pursue his cousin.
And Maeglin, after returning to Gondolin, said nothing about his encounter. But many people noticed a change in him. Most thought that it was for the better, though Idril suspected something evil. Of course she was right. And she began to work on a secret way to leave the city in case of an emergency.
That seems smart, but like kind of difficult, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of an engineering feat.
Figured it out, though.
She sure did.
All right. Well, midsummer, first age, 510. The Gondolindrum celebrated the festival known as the Gates of Summer.
Yeah, as they gathered in the night to observe the sunrise over the mountains, a red light was seen in the north instead of the east.
It was the armies of Morgoth coming over the mountains with Balrogs, orcs, wolves, and dragons, and all sorts of nasty creatures.
And nothing could stop them until they reached the walls of the city itself and surrounded it.
Got an excerpt here from the Silmarillion, chapter 23 of Tuor and the Fall of Gondolin.
Red light mounted the hills in the north and not in the east, and there was no stay in the advance of the foe until they were beneath the very walls of Gondolin, and the city was beleaguered without hope. Of the deeds of desperate valor there done, by the chieftains of the noble houses, and their warriors, and not least by Tuor, in much told of the fall of Gondolin, of the death of Rog without the walls, and of the battle of Ecthelion of the Fountain with Gothmong, lord of Balrogs, in the very square of the king, where each slew the other, and of the defense of the tower of Turgon by the men of his household, until the tower was overthrown, and mighty was its fall, and the fall of Turgon in its ruin.
Grim.
Yeah,
Tragic.
tragic.
Very sad.
Yeah, for many days the elves of Gondolin held their ranks and the city, and the battle continued to rage beneath its walls where it was bloody and terrible. And there were some pretty courageous leaders and warriors. Most prominently, we hear about Ecthelion, Tuor. They all become legends. And this is also where the swords Orcrist and Glamdring earn their reputation, and they become feared by the orcs.
Yeah, many songs and epic poems wrote about this time. But during the assault, Maeglin led the House of the Mole against the other houses of Gondolin, causing much confusion and additional death.
I love that. Additional death.
Yeah.
Didn't have to be a thing.
Yeah, furthermore, the information provided by Maeglin had furnished Morgoth with the means to plan a perfect siege.
Turgon, High King of the Noldor, fell defending the citadel of the city.
And Ecthelion of the Fountain died in a duel with Gothmog, the High Captain of Angband. And during the havoc of the battle, Maeglin went to Tuor's home along the southern wall of the city, and there he intended to thrust Tuor's son Eärendil over the walls and to force Idril into leading him out of the ruined city by the secret way, which he had heard rumor of.
Tuor arrived in time to rescue his wife and son, Eärendil, as Maeglin was dragging Eärendil to the walls to throw him over. The fight between Tuor and Maeglin was brief.
Yeah, Maeglin was yeeted from the top walls of Gondolin to his death below, fulfilling the curse of his father Eöl to die the same death as he. And it was said that Maeglin's body smote the walls 3 times as it fell into the fire below.
A fitting end.
Yeah, I love their like
Smote,
bounce,
like,
bounce,
yeah,
bounce.
okay.
Yeah.
I wonder
And
if
then he fell into fire.
I wonder just the skid marks.
Yeah, just 3 big red.
Oh God, I wonder what that wall looks like from the outside. If that's what happens to everybody who gets kicked off, like, do
Yeah.
they have a reputation of kicking people off
Do you
the
think
wall?
do they think they have a specific spot
It kind
Were
of
they-
seemed like it.
where they chuck people from the wall?
It seemed that way. It
Yeah.
seems like this is the spot. Walk the plank.
I bet there's a mess down there.
So ultimately, Gondolin was completely destroyed by Maeglin's actions, and most of its population was
Yeah.
also killed.
Yeah, just annihilated. The rest of people sold into slavery, if not completely murdered. And we got a excerpt from the Fall of Gondolin here. Is this the first time we've ever done Fall of Gondolin?
Yeah, it's very short, but it's
Yeah, very short, but it's something. Yeah. Okay, check it out. It's from Joel.
Glory dwelt in that city of Gondolin of the 7 names, and its ruin was the most dreadful of all the sacks of cities upon the face of earth.
Damn, that hit pretty hard for a small one.
Yeah, and that's all thanks to Maeglin. All
Yeah.
thanks to Maeglin.
Yeah,
He
our asshole for the day.
is an asshole. He's our asshole of the day. But he wasn't able to ruin everything because Tuor and Idril and Earendil had secretly led a group of survivors out of Gondolin.
Yeah, and Earendil even thought to grab his sword on the way out.
That's right, his little child blade.
Yeah.
KOT theory.
Or no, he forgot to
Or
grab
no,
it.
he left
Yeah,
it.
he left it. That's right. Yep, it was left behind. Mm-hmm.
Sting. Yes.
Yes.
Mm,
Sting.
KOT theory.
Yep.
And Earendil would later prove to be the downfall of Morgoth, because Earendil is the one who actually sails over and gets the Valar's help in the end, and
Some sick revenge.
convinces the Valar to come destroy Morgoth, which they do.
Yeah, they did get their revenge, Trevor. Yeah.
Good revenge. Very good.
The House of Hador got its revenge.
Now, ultimately, Maeglin was a relatively young elf, being only 190 years old when he died. That is pretty young for an elf. Elves live literally for thousands of years.
No wonder he
Yeah.
was so friggin' reckless and stupid.
Right,
Yeah.
he's pretty young. He's like almost like a teenager.
like a
Like, has he hit puberty, or is he just throwing a temper tantrum?
I don't know. Maybe he hasn't hit elf puberty yet.
Elf, yeah, right? Like, he needs whatever the elf equivalent of testosterone. His balls haven't dropped yet.
Elf testosterone.
Yes.
But ultimately, that's about as much as we've got for you on Maeglin today. Maeglin's actions are considered the greatest treachery of the Elder Days.
Yeah.
He is the epitome of an asshole.
Damn, the greatest treachery? When we have Morgoth to contend with here.
He's literally the Benedict Arnold.
I think they mean like the greatest betrayal.
Yeah, he's Benedict Arnold of the fucking Tolkien universe.
So to sum up our episode today, Maeglin sucks.
Yeah, he's a friggin' asshole.
He's an asshole.
Asshole. Yeah.
In fact,
agreed.
you might say he is the quintessential asshole of the Elder Days, aka the first age.
Did he do anything like real, like noteworthy, like positive?
We've thought that he might have made the Gondolin blades like Orcrist and Sting. And
We suspected that, but he did make the seventh gate of Gondolin, the metal
yeah, that's
one.
pretty cool.
And he was a pretty revered smith, and he helped them.
yeah, he
improve
did
their
good work. He was
smithing,
also
and
valiant at the Nirnaeth Arnoidiad.
he was
which
he was a valiant and a great help at the Nirnaeth.
Yeah, so I don't know. Mixed
So-
story, but big asshole.
Ultimately,
asshole.
an asshole in the end.
I don't know if he was evil or not, but I just think he really wanted to fuck his cousin. And like, there's porn for that, my man. You know what I mean?
He's like, love will conquer all, even if it's my red-haired cousin.
Once again, Pornhub would have saved Gondolin.
yeah, Pornhub would have saved Gondolin. That's a final thought right there.
There
We
you
should
go.
have added that to the outline. Yeah,
That's what we should have right there.
Yeah.
That's really what this all culminated.
yeah.
But that's all we've got for you this week. Don't forget to tune in next week for episode 79, where we continue our Assholes Throughout the Ages trilogy with our part 2, The Second Age, where we will talk about
Our Pharazôn.
Ar-Pharazôn.
I'm actually really excited to learn more about Ar-Pharazôn.
He's a huge asshole.
He's an ass.
Yeah, I can't say that I know a ton about him, you know?
Well, you will.
Oh, you will next week,
You
friend.
will. But that's all we got for you today. Thanks for listening to Keep on Tolkien podcast, and a big thank you to our patrons. Don't forget to subscribe on Patreon to help support us. That's Keep on Tolkien. That's patreon.com/KOT podcast. It helps us keep coming at you with some good content at the level of quality that you come to expect. And subscribing can also unlock some exclusive content, so go check it out.
Yeah, we have also been doing private one-time donations. We have PayPal and other services to make that happen. So hit us up in any way you see fit, and we can make it happen, Captain.
Subscribe on Spotify, SoundCloud, or iTunes. That's www.anyofthosesites.com/keepontolkien. So stay up to date on new episodes, and if you like us, definitely give us a nice review and rate us up.
Smash that like button.
Yeah. Follow us on our social medias. First of all, join the Discord, people.
Yeah, link in the description.
Yeah,
We-
get up in there. Discord is the poppin' place.
We are all three of us on Discord constantly.
every day.
Yeah, every friggin' day. So come to Discord. It's the Keep On Tolkien podcast server. There will be a invite link in the description of everything we do from now on.
Right. Also follow us on Twitter at KOT Podcast and on Facebook, facebook.com/official Keep On Tolkien. We've also got a KOT Talk group. Don't forget to join that while you're there.
Yeah, and also follow us on Instagram at Keep On Tolkien Podcast.
Definitely don't forget to check out our merch store. That's keep-on-tolkien-podcast.tmail.com.
Yeah, and check out Trevor's Shafted t-shirt. It's friggin' awesome.
Get all the t-shirts. You should just order all of the t-shirts.
Just all of them, why not?
You need them all.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. You'll find something you'll love.
Yeah, there's some fun on there.
All right, guys. Well, that's all we got for you today.
Yeah, I'm Danny J.
I'm Joel N.
I'm Trevor D.
And we are
Keep on Tolkien. We got it that time, guys.
Yeah, we did it. Yay. All right, into the fall.